Okay.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
So it has 50 million downloads. So
what has 50 million downloads? You can't start a sentence in the middle.
Yeah, it's called a segue.
Oh, okay. That's not, but all right.
Yeah.
This is episode 6, by the way.
That was a... Speaking of 6, Marvel Contest Champions.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with
the
6,
game that only you and Sammy know about.
And Matt.
Okay.
And
Isaac knows of it, but does he play it?
49,999,997 other people.
Oh, really? That many downloads?
50 million.
Damn.
And I got rid of 3.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
No, it's really impressive.
Anyway.
What about Marvel? What about Contest of Champions?
No, I'm just going to jump into the next story.
Okay, cool.
So a doctor stuck his finger in my butt today.
Great. Quality content. Continue.
Yes.
Or was that it?
No. It was funny because he didn't know I was gay. He was
Okay.
He was telling me as if I was just a regular straight guy. Oh no, and he was just like, I'm gonna put one finger in. You're gonna feel a little bit of pressure.
And I was like, bro.
I was literally just okay.
You're just like, so a slow Tuesday.
You're just like, okay. I've done worse on the way here. What are you talking about?
Perfect.
So he does it, and then he's like, all right, now I'm going to feel around. And I was like, okay. So unfaith. It wasn't until after that, because he took it out, and he was like, okay, I don't feel anything. I have an abscess in my right butt cheek.
Abscess.
Abscess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can never say that right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I can't spell it right.
Right. You're trying to spell the
and
alcohol.
so, he was feeling around for it, because I was... today was my consultation. I had to go in for surgery for 3 weeks to get it removed. So it wasn't just him doing butt stuff for butt stuff pleasure.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so he felt around. He was like, okay, I don't feel anything. He's like, I had to put this little... He's like, now I'm going to put a rod in you. And I was like, that's new. Okay.
That's what he said.
And he was just like, but it's only going to be about the size of my finger, so don't worry. And I was like, I'm not. And so he puts it in. And then he was like, all right, now there's going to be a puff of air. And I was like, what? He's like, that is new.
That is actually something I've not experienced before.
All right. And he was like, so there's going to be it's going to feel full. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not new. And so he busted in, and I was like, I really didn't even notice too much. It just felt like I had to fart, which makes sense because it's just air.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, all right, we're all done. And I was like, okay, cool. So unbothered. It wasn't until after the finger though where I realized oh my god, he's probably expecting someone no, masculinity. And so that's when I started I had to hide my face because I was laughing, because then he was like, now I'm gonna put the rod in, but don't worry, it's only about the size of my finger. And I was like, okay, that was child's play. It's fine. And that's when I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
that happened, and then he was done. He was like, if you need to use the restroom or something, I know it's kind of weird, there's a bathroom right there, we're gonna go ahead and step out for a bit. And I was like, okay, I'll just wipe up the lube, I guess, and then be done. This is an amateur hour.
Oh my god.
So but yeah, no, so I go in surgery for 3 weeks.
Fun.
I thought that was a good start. All right, Kent, take us down from there.
Well, I was going to say, you and I have had similar experiences like that, but I am straight. So, I am straight, and when I had to have a glass, inspection, it was
A what?
It was, okay, it was like a butt plug, basically.
Okay.
But it was made of glass so that they could peer into it and see what was wrong with me. Yeah.
Intense. I would have been scared it shattered.
Anyway, that is a fear I had. But I was very young. I think I was 11 when I had to have it done. So
11
straight, and that's probably the first time that's ever happened to me. So I was just like, and it was just like.
To be completely fair to you, I wasn't even thinking about anything going up my butt at 11.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, I had. Oh, was it 11? I don't know if it was 11 or not. It might have been. No. Let me revise
it was
that.
Still just too young.
Yeah, let me revise that. It was probably sophomore year of high school. No, I think it was like the second half of my freshman year of high school because I got an abscess from my Crohn's disease, and that's like when I had the surgery and I was out of commission for like 8 weeks, and or was it 8 months? I don't know. It's a whole blur. It fucking
Wait,
sucked.
why were you out for so long?
Well, I wasn't out of. Was I out of school for that long?
Well, I mean, they told me like the recovery for the surgery for mine. So
That's
going to be like
your recovery.
Was it yours because of the Crohn's disease?
Mine, so I had an abscess that reached. Wow, I can't believe this is only the 6th episode of the podcast, and I'm already talking about this. I don't think I ever expected to talk about this. But so I had fistulizing Crohn's disease. Have it still, but my medication keeps it down. So let me see how I can explain this. I had an abscess that started out as a hemorrhoid and bore its way into my cheek, kind of like what you had a little bit. But mine opened up into my rectum. So I had basically 2 assholes, and it was a ton of fun. The way they had to fix it, or the way they tried to fix it, was they ran a string through the abscess and then out my anus, and they had to like, this is so gross already talking about it. They had
We'll add timestamps on when to fast forward this.
No, we won't. I'm not gonna edit this. But they had to suture it. So with the I don't know what the material was, but it was like a special kind of string, and so they tightened it really tight so that it like starts piercing through the skin and promotes healing, and that didn't work. And so I had just this golf ball sized hole in my butt, and it was not fun, and it would not heal. And so that's why I had to go on Remicade. And after I took Remicade, it healed up. I think it was 8 weeks. 8 weeks had gone by, no progress at all. Like there should have been progress. And then I took the Remicade, and it was pretty much all the way healed after like 2 weeks. It was amazing. I wish I would have taken pictures because that's like a neat like thing to watch. That probably would have gotten a lot of views on YouTube.
So for mine, similar in the area, not in size.
Yeah.
But for mine, they're not doing like a string to pull it out. They're pretty sure there isn't anything in there, and if there is, they think they could just be pushed out naturally through my body.
I wish that would have been the case.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
But what I'm going in for surgery for is where the infection was and where the abscess was. Mm-hmm. There's now just like kind of a cavern there.
Okay.
And so it won't heal up properly because it's kind of like a teardrop shape.
Okay.
And the tiny entrance, so like the top of the teardrop is where it leads to like the rectum, and that won't close up and heal until the bigger part is collapsed down. I don't know why. I'm not a doctor, but that's what he told me. Mm-hmm. So what he's going in to do is he's trying to find out which gland has the opening that leads to the cavern. It might be multiple ones. And then he's going to make incisions on my rectum.
Fun.
Where the gland is.
Ouch.
Yeah.
God.
And hopefully I'll be asleep. Yay.
It brings me back to bad times.
He said by doing that, it should allow the cavern to collapse on itself. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be allowed to heal up. And then nothing should be able to get in there. But he said there's a chance that it doesn't collapse and it just stays open. Or that it starts to collapse and then something gets in there and then it just reinfects and starts inflating it again with the infection.
Yeah, so, that's when it starts to get like my levels of bad.
And he said if that happens, then I'm just going to have something like that where I just deal with it, where it gets infected every couple months. God. And then as soon as I start having it like inflame up, he said I'll just have to go somewhere and get antibiotics and heal it up, and then it'll go away, and then once it comes back, just keep doing that.
That sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's why he said he's going to do surgery. He said there's just a chance that might happen. Oh. He's not necessarily banking on it.
Ugh.
But, yeah, so I was like, well, that kind of sucks, but we'll go ahead and try 9 knockdown. So yeah.
Interesting.
In other news, I think next week might be when I test out to start flying on my own without a flight instructor.
Sweet.
So that's cool.
That'll be fun.
Will be. It was supposed to be this week, but with every fucking life hiccup that I've been having lately, I keep having to miss flights here, miss flights there. I almost missed tomorrow if I wound up getting surgery, because there was a chance I would have gotten surgery today, in which case... So that's what I was going to tell you. My recovery time, they said, is only going to be a day.
That's bullshit, but okay.
Yeah.
How dare you not suffer as long as I did?
Fuck you, Sal. So, like, I would have just missed all of my classes yesterday, essentially, or tomorrow. But now I don't have to worry about that. Yay.
There you go. Perfect.
Which is great because I'm skipping class Friday. Yay. Going to Denver. It's fine.
Why are you going to Denver now to segue away from all the butt stuff?
For butt stuff. Me and Bryce are meeting up. It's for...
Oh.
No, we're going...
all right.
So, like, he lives in South Dakota, and obviously I'm here in Kansas. And so far, he's come down once, I've come up once, and we've already met in the middle once.
So now you're just going to go way the fuck out of the way.
So rather than starting the cycle over, I was like, hey, Denver's having Oktoberfest in September for some reason. Do you want to go?
Wait, by Friday? Yeah, you're right. It's still in September.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even just that. It was this weekend, too.
Maybe it'll... Oh.
Yeah,
well,
no, like, they were just way wrong.
Sounds like they're already drunk.
They're just like,
fucking
October,
We'll wake up in
September.
October. It'll count.
Doesn't matter.
It'll probably be October by
No.
the time it ends.
Well, the 2 weekends that they're celebrating was last weekend and this weekend.
Okay, so then by
So no.
Monday it'll be October. Perfect.
Yeah, so yeah,
That makes
just
it October.
stay blacked out for a week.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're going to do that. So we're both flying out Friday morning. We'll see each other that Friday morning. I think my plane lands at like 7, 8
Fun.
o'clock. And then, yeah, I think his is like 2 hours behind mine though. So I was like, ugh. Because he's renting the car. Because I'm not 25 yet. So.
Oh, you have to be 25 to rent a car? I didn't know that.
You can get, there's certain
Not
exceptions.
everywhere.
Yeah, well, I was about to get to that. There's certain exceptions, but if you're not 25, they charge you an extra rate. Because, like, I was able to rent a car when I got in a car accident in 2016, but then they charged me another, like, at an increased rate because I wasn't yet.
Oh.
And not all car companies will even do that, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, it super sucked.
I've never crashed a car before. I've crashed into a motorcycle once. It was parked, and I was in my little S10 pickup, and the motorcycle won.
On the bright side, I didn't cause the crash, so I didn't have to pay for the rental.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, that person, yeah, her insurance had to. And I was like, yeah, go suck
The other
it.
day, you know the intersection, it's like, so you're going down Magnolia towards 9th, and you have to turn right to go to Panera.
I think so.
It's like a really screwed up intersection where it like veers off to the left but also goes straight. Yeah. It's like that. So I was coming around that bend to get onto Magnolia, and I saw the person coming out of the gas station, and they didn't look, and they just decided to go without stopping at all. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them a little scare. And so I like kept going and like slammed on my brakes right before I got to them. And they were like, oh, and they like stopped their car and like jolted on their brakes. And I was just like, yeah, that's what you fucking get. And then and then she kept driving. And I was just like, I could have fucking destroyed your car, lady. Like, you need to watch where you're going. And then she gave me a look like I was the asshole, and I kind of was.
In
but
that
like,
point, yeah,
but like, you should have looked where you were going. I have cases like that every goddamn day in this town. It's so terrible.
it's really hard to eat oatmeal with this microphone here. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sal likes to eat during our podcasts. Just the last two.
I'm sorry that you picked nighttime to do this.
I don't have any other time during the day.
Neither.
Or during the rest of the week. Like, this is the one time slotted.
I don't even really have time right now. There's a reason I grabbed my homework.
Nice. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do a little earlier to both, like, because usually we don't start recording until right now when it's, like, almost 8:15. So this will be better for both of us.
Yay. I actually did think about that, and I was like, oh, I was getting here earlier.
Yeah, thinking about you.
Which means we get done earlier.
Yeah.
Which means I have time.
Yeah, there you go, man. Thinking about you. I don't know what I'm going to do when I move back to Manhattan. I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Just like,
wait, when are you planning on doing that?
Well,
I thought it was like another.
Hopefully by next summer. I've just been thinking a lot about it because I really, really want to move back to Manhattan. So,
fair enough.
Like where we're gonna live and stuff. I hope we can find a house. That would be nice.
I thought there was. I mean, I know recently it's been Manhattan, but I thought at one point you guys were thinking about going to Kansas City.
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
We were gonna go to Wichita at one point because that's where the school I'm going to was, and then they just were like they packed up and came back to Lindsborg and were like, hey, we're in Lindsborg now, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I gotta tell Megan to go find a job in Salina, and then we'll live in Salina. So there you go.
Tell Megan to find a job for Bryce so he can move down here.
Is he a teacher?
No.
Oh.
He works at a college.
Well, I mean, I don't know
That's
what
like
her.
the same.
I don't know how far her connections reach. But he could probably just walk into a college and ask. What does he teach?
He doesn't. He's a counselor.
Well, now I'm okay. Cool. I was like, well, now I'm just confused. So.
Well, color me pink. I don't know why I put that color.
He's a counselor, so he could be a counselor for any, like, grade level.
But not like a counselor like high school counselors where they're like, oh, you need to take this class to graduate.
Oh, he's like a legit. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna kill myself counselor.
Yeah, like I hear voices in my head counselor.
Oh, fun. Yeah. I can't imagine being in high school and hearing voices in your head. That would be crazy.
Okay, I'm shocked.
It was the worst.
Everyone around me talking, always.
No peace.
Only war.
Oh, that first bit of the podcast, I can't think of anything else to talk about now. So
that's it.
We came in hot and heavy. All right, tune in next time.
We're done. With butt stuff.
Oh man, no, I gotta think. What movies are coming out? Oh, I saw the last. It's like the final trailer for what?
No, I'm gonna let you finish first.
Okay. I saw the final trailer for Fantastic Beasts, and I'm very excited about that.
Did not watch that yet, but I saw, like, I just haven't had time, but I've seen it, and I'm ready to watch it. Just haven't.
What? Oh.
I've seen it.
Seen what?
I've seen, like, the title for it and that it's been released.
Oh, okay.
I just have not actually watched it.
I thought you meant you haven't seen the first one, and then you were like, I have seen it, but I haven't, and I was just like, what are you on? What's in those?
Trailer-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen Fantastic Beasts yet.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay. So we're clear that you have not seen Fantastic Beasts. Got it. Mm-hmm. You should watch it. It's really good. Everybody around me is like, including Eli, was like, oh, it's just a money grab. It's just no big deal. And I'm just like, even if it is, it's a super good movie. And I was like, I've seen it. I like willingly watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's a great movie.
Is it on like Netflix or something?
I don't know, but I don't think it is. Mm-hmm. But it's possible. It's like movies like Doctor Strange are on Netflix. So
you brought up new movies coming out, and it reminded me that like the Halloween movie's coming out. And I don't know if you saw
God, the fucking. That's a money grab.
Did you see the thing I put on Facebook?
No.
It was like someone commenting. They're like, I can't take this guy seriously after someone told me he looked like Mariah Carey.
I did see that. And I can't unsee that now.
Because it does.
It's actually the mask he wears is actually a William Shatner mask. At least the original one was.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Mariah Carey's like old skin.
That would be funny. Or creepy.
I both.
Don't know. Yeah. It would be like, okay.
Like, she shed again?
Yeah. But no. Oh, you know what? I don't think we talked about Predator. Did we talk about Predator last time?
No, because we didn't watch it yet.
That's right.
Have you seen it?
Wait, didn't we watch it?
I've watched it. Did we watch it together?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah, of course we did.
Yeah, it was the funniest action comedy of the whole year. It was
Deadpool.
I'm kidding. Of course it wasn't. It was fucking terrible. The part with the pit bull, that was the funniest part to me.
Still not sure what
there was a pit bull that just showed up to protect the boy who was about to be attacked by the predator dogs, and the last shot of the pit bull was it just barreling towards something, and then it was never. There was no payoff. It just ended.
It was just gone.
It was just very poor editing. And one of the dogs got shot.
Not even just that. Like, there was foreshadowing leading up to it, because like the pit bull was shown like 2 other times.
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, this pit bull's gonna be.
He must be like important.
He's gonna be a hero. He's gonna save the kid. He's gonna be like maybe turn into a predator dog. But no,
so like right before the predator dog showed up, though, they showed him, and then the predator dogs were like right behind him. So I was like, oh, that's what they were doing it for. They're just gonna show the dog get eaten by a predator dog.
Yeah.
And he was just foreshadowing predator dogs.
I thought maybe it was going to turn into one of the predator dogs, but the
cool
movie
too.
I would have been, but the movie wasn't that clever.
Yeah, it was just like, no, he's just gonna run away.
The entire time, I was just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, there wasn't a point in the movie where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. No, it was all dumb. It was. They were trying to like bank off of all the old cool things that the first Predator did. They even had the get to the chopper line in there, and it was just like, oh, good one, guys.
I bet you guys high-fived after that.
Yeah. I think it, don't quote me on this. I think it was actually written by the same guy. Or it was written by someone who you would think would have made a good movie, and it just wound up being a freaking hot pile of garbage. It was just
The only other movie I know this guy directed was Iron Man 3.
That
was it.
I think that's the one, yeah. So never mind. Opposite of what I said. It was probably expected to not be good since people didn't like Iron Man 3. But no.
I expected it to be what it was. Trying to be more comedic, and then after watching the trailers, I was like,
From the trailers, I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be a hot pile of fucking garbage.
I went in because like brand loyalty, and I like the lore between the aliens and the predators. So.
Yeah. If they would have kept it serious and not as campy, it would have been an interesting movie. But it was.
I think if they would have expanded more on the lore part, and then like you said, the predator dog, and they probably could have taken that out.
Oh,
entirely.
The predator dogs served no purpose except at the end where there was one that got shot in the head. Spoilers, by the way. I don't know if anybody cares. A little late for that now.
Based off the box office, none of you guys seen it.
Yeah.
So might as well.
Sorry. This is the TLDR or TLDW. So like one of the predator dogs got shot in the head, but he didn't. He just wound up having brain damage, and he turned into like a friendly dog.
So weird.
It was dumb, but the funny line there was like, man, you suck at killing shit, or like something like that. One of the characters just like, you suck at shooting shit in the head. And I was just like, that's funny.
The reason that was funny was because the guy who shot it in the head tried to shoot himself in the head, and that's how he got to the crazy
That's why. Okay, yeah, that's why it was funny.
So like he shot himself in the head point blank range and somehow missed and just had like a scar on the side of his head from where the bullet grazed his skull.
Yeah.
So that's where the joke came from.
I see. And it was weird though because he like shot him directly in the head. But it was the whole thing was dumb.
I can't.
Or the force field part where they're on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
They all jump on the taking off ship, and the force field is slow enough for them to all see it coming toward them. Guy number 1 ducks under the force field like a smart guy.
Still
guy number 2
me, though, too, that there was that much space to be able to do that.
Yeah, guy number 2 jumped on top of the shield as it was coming toward him, and guy number 3 stared at the force field as it approached him and watched his own legs get cut off and then got flown off the ship.
And I think the biggest part about that made it really dumb, not just the speed of what it came at him, but
which was fucking slow.
He watched guy number 1 duck underneath it,
and he watched guy number 2.
Guy number 2 jump over.
He was like, I can't.
He was just like, well, I guess I have nothing but time, but no motor skills. So
just like he ducked and he jumped. I can't. There's no third option. I can't. I can't
do it.
Copy
him.
And then guy number 2 who jumped on top of it, like he started like spazzing out for some reason. It felt like the force field was like causing him to freak the fuck out, and then he was just like yeeted into the fucking engine and died. And it was just like, that was a cool move, but why the fuck?
He did. Which still got me too, because he was able to jump into the engine. And I was like, why would the engine be outside of the force field?
Right?
How did he just do that?
But I guess because if the engine's able to trap people in it, then it can trap the engine, like the it doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna say, let's not pretend
it's
we
stupid.
understand space travel.
It's fucking stupid, but
I just feel like there's no point of a space or a force field if you could just hit the giant fucking engine, and it's done anyway.
And then like, is it Keegan-Michael Key?
Yeah.
He was one of the characters, and he and the guy with Tourette's, who only had Tourette's when it was funny. Like, it wasn't an actual form of Tourette's.
Ridiculous.
It was, and towards like the tail end of the movie, he just lost it, and he didn't have Tourette's anymore. And it was just like, okay, then why did you have it before anyway? But they were like lovers, or just like really close friends.
Really implied lovers.
Really implied lovers, and then they both like shot each other at the same time, which I argue is impossible to pull off.
Right.
Like, how the fuck even, though? One of them was trapped on a branch in a tree. The other was dying with his guts out on the other, like, across on another tree. And they were just like, I love you. And they shot each other.
Bang,
and
bang.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
But
Also, I'd love to talk about the actual Predator. So those
the
two.
Predators were cool.
Those
like,
two.
The design was cool.
And this kind of got ruined for me later because I didn't really think too much of it in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw people talking. They were like, so the second Predator, who was like 10, 11 feet tall,
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be like the genetically superior Predator.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, and all he really did was just gain a couple feet and got built-in body armor.
Yeah.
That was kind of about it.
Yeah, they referenced like how he built an exoskeleton inside of his skin, and I was like,
barely.
isn't that a skeleton? And it was dumb.
I think
The whole movie was dumb.
the best part, though, was a callback to Iron Man 3 at the very end of the movie, where the gift that the other Predator brought to humanity was just essentially an Iron Man suit.
Oh my god.
And the guy might as well have just looked at the camera and said, I am Iron Man, and then just fade to black.
Oh god, I was so
Instead, he said, this is my suit. And it was like, okay.
great, awesome. It was just like great. So sequel time, fantastic. God, I hated that ending. I also hated how they were like it was a really weird interpretation of autism the whole time with the kid. And they like tried to the kid was like the chosen one apparently because he had autism, and the girl was like, autism is the next step in the evolutionary chain, and we were just like, okay, lady. I mean, maybe, but okay.
I personally thought that part was kind of cool.
You did think that part was cool?
Yeah, the execution was kind of bad, but
I mean,
once again, they got me with like the lore, and then they just never did anything with it.
there was no. I think they wanted that part with the kid to be like a twist, and they just did it wrong. Because the whole time, what they wanted was for you, the audience, to be like, oh, the main father guy, the main guy, he's the one who the alien's coming after. But like halfway through the movie, I'm like, okay, this alien's obviously after the kid. There's no question that he's after the kid. And then at the end, they were like, or like when the twist happened, they were like, oh, isn't that cool? He's actually after the kid. And it was like, no, Predator. I already knew that he was after the kid.
They were pretty well aware.
Yeah. Do you remember the Predator that came before this one? Predators.
Yeah, I actually own that movie.
Do you really? I think I saw part of it. I got to the point where
That one was way better.
the Mexican guy who's in all the neat Machete. Him. I forgot his name. I got to the part where he was being used as bait. This is on like FX, so it cut to commercial, and I was like, well, I don't have the attention span for this bullshit. But
this commercial literally killed the movie.
yeah, but yeah, that was a neater that was a cooler. What's the word I'm looking for?
Concept.
Cooler concept because
they took him to another planet, and they were like, you guys are the top predators.
Yeah, so this one is like a prequel to that one because
Is it?
Well, it has to be because because during this one we're just now learning about the predators, but in Predators we're like, we know that they hunt people. We know how to get them to our give people to them and have them take them to their planet. Like they have all this knowledge of how to get prisoners to the planet. So it's obviously like this.
Well, it wasn't necessarily that the people knew that. The people just woke up there. They weren't like sent
Okay,
there.
so
the
I haven't
predators
seen
kidnapped them.
Okay.
And then they brought them to, and it wasn't even their planet. They just brought them to a planet.
But they were all prisoners, so I figured
they weren't all prisoners.
Oh, I thought they were.
Yeah, they were all random people that were predators. So like the coolest character in
Just
that,
like a pedophile as one of them.
just like he just rapes the predator.
Oh my god, a little old for my taste.
But it'll do.
Oh god.
No,
Anyway.
so like my favorite character in that was an actual good plot twist. I'm gonna kind of ruin the movie, but it was a better movie.
Fine.
I still suggest you watch it. So they had Venom from Spider-Man 3, that actor.
Oh, okay.
And in there, he was like a deadly predator. He wound up being like a psychopath killer,
Oh
like
yeah.
serial killer, where everyone else was like a trained mercenary or like a United States Special Forces, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Or this guy, he just lied to him and was like, I'm just a doctor. What am I doing here?
Oh, okay.
And he lied the entire time to like slowly just stay with the smarter, stronger people.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was just conniving his way through, pretending he was weak until the very end when they found an escape hatch and he found like a poisonous flower earlier in the movie and he stole some of the paralyzing venom from it.
Mm-hmm.
And right before they were able to escape, he like cut one of the other survivors and made him paralyzed so he'd be left as like bait so
I
he
think
could
I remember
escape.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. Like while I was watching, I was like, I didn't see that coming. Whoa.
Nice.
Because he was playing the part of being like weak and terrible the entire time.
See, that's already better.
Yeah, no,
this
this
one was just
definitely
fucking-
better.
This one was dumb.
I mean, the lore wasn't all the way there, which kind of sucked, but it was nice just seeing like a good Predator movie with like creative deaths and traps and whatnot.
Have you seen Alien vs Predator Requiem?
That one I have issues with.
I
Yeah.
hated that movie.
I like the first Alien
It
vs.
was
Predator.
so
though.
bad. I don't know if I've seen the original. Is that the one where they're in like Antarctica?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have seen it. But yeah, I like how how that whole universe is connected. That whole universe is fucking depressing to me, because like all the monsters are straight up OP and you can't beat them, and this
Unless
is
you're
like,
Ripley.
unless you're Ripley.
With like a fucking exosuit and just.
I've only seen Aliens 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3 because everybody shits on it, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to put myself through that, I guess. I've just seen the part where... Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, there's a part where there's like a weird hybrid alien, and Ripley shoots a hole in the ship, and the alien gets like pressed up against the hole, and then all of his guts get sucked out, and it's like, it's fucking cool, but I haven't seen the whole movie yet.
So my favorite in the franchise is Prometheus,
Everybody hates that movie.
and the only
I
reason
enjoyed it.
I liked it all the way up until the very last part of the movie.
Wait, like
Because I went in when I first watched it, I had no idea it was connected to the Alien universe. I remember watching it in high school. I was with
you
Isaac.
didn't know?
I had no idea,
Bro,
just knew-
I saw that trailer and I was like, this is very alien. Like, this has to be
I
an
didn't
alien.
even see the trailer. I
Oh,
just knew,
okay,
like, the
you
name
went
of it.
totally blind.
Yeah, I just went in. We watched it in Marysville. It was like me, Isaac.
Oh,
and
good
I'm
times,
Pretty sure
Marysville.
Sam and Matt. And I just remember Isaac for sure was there, but there was at least one other guy there. We went in and watched it, and like the whole time, no idea it was an alien movie. I just thought it was so cool, like the lore behind it, because you see the engineer kind of creating life.
Even when the eggs came up, because that was an early thing.
Yeah, that's about when it kind of started hitting me. when I
Oh,
was
is
like,
that what? Okay, I thought
Yeah.
you meant you had no idea
But
up until
like even then, once like because it wasn't even an egg, it was just the goo, and then just like a
That's right.
snaky thing popped up, and it didn't look like the face huggers.
You're
it just
right.
looked similar.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, what the hell is that? And then it didn't try and get on his face. It like got on the guy's arm and like broke his arm and shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it went to his face, I thought it was like trying to get inside his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still blown away. It wasn't until after the one lady, I think Shaw was her name.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Oh,
other
the main
girl.
lady.
Yeah. The
Okay.
other girl.
I forgot her name.
After she had to get the thing removed from her stomach, that's when I was like, is this?
Is this alien?
And like even then I didn't fully believe it, and I was just like, is this just like a really bad knockoff? Like, are they just waiting to be sued? But it was really cool. I like the lore behind it. It was
Mhm.
great. Like the whole cave paintings all pointing towards the stars, and they were like, we gotta go, and then they did. And then it was a fucking trap.
So you saw the most recent Alien, right? It's like the sequel to
Alien
Prometheus.
Covenant? Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I think ruined it, because I was like so excited
Oh, really?
to go. Like I liked it all, but I don't know how to describe it.
That whole franchise is just a mess, honestly. But
Yeah, because it could be so much better. Like if
Yeah.
they just had better.
if they went back to their roots with the first Alien, But I mean, you can only have so many movies where you're trapped in a space station and you're trying to escape an alien. So, but they like coined it, so it's I like
kind of like if they would have went back in time to where like Alien versus Predator was kind of taking place.
I would like to
With,
see
like ancient civilization trying to take it on with just like spears and shit.
Oh my god, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'd
But
be here for that.
I liked how Bishop made the alien that is like what attacks Ripley or whatever. I thought that was neat.
You should watch. It's on the Nerdist News channel, where they go over the entire life cycle of an alien, and they go through everything that can create an alien.
Oh, okay.
Like both with the goo or the face huggers or the weird face huggers, or what happens if a face hugger hits a human versus a predator versus something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. It's a long video, but it's pretty cool.
I should check that out. I was gonna say something, I totally forgot what it was. Have you seen not Horizon Zero Dawn, Event Horizon?
I want to say yes.
With Sam Neill, with Alan from Jurassic Park,
And then maybe not.
or maybe Grant. I don't know what his name was.
Alan.
Alan. But what is that from?
Jurassic Park 3. He's just sleeping on a plane and a raptor looks at him and just goes,
Alan.
Alan. He's just like, oh. So fucking random.
Oh man, I loved Jurassic 1, then Jurassic World 1, and that's it. I can mind-numbingly sit through Jurassic World 2 and Jurassic World 3 and Jurassic Park 2 and 3, and then Jurassic World 2. Jurassic World 2 was ridiculous. Like, the whole thing. Did you see how it should have ended on that?
Mm-mm.
It's funny. You should watch it. But one of the funniest part was I'm gonna ruin the funniest part for you. Was where they're like demonstrating the Indoraptor and how you point a gun at somebody and then make a sound and it attacks them, and the guy's like, wait, so
Can't we just shoot him?
yeah, they're like, so if you have a gun and you have it pointed directly at me, why don't you just shoot me? Why do you need an Indoraptor? And they're all just like, this is dumb, we're leaving. And then everybody left, and the Indoraptor's like, oh. But yeah, so Jurassic World, I loved the first Jurassic World. I think a lot of people actually shit on it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? Even though the box office was like a smash, everybody was just like, oh, it's dumb, Chris Pratt's dumb. And I was just like, fuck you guys, this is a good movie. And it really it captured the wonder that Jurassic Park kind of did.
The part where the fucking T-Rex, I know it's not a T-Rex, but that's what I'm going to call it, straight up turned invisible. Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex, yeah.
And then when Chris Pratt had to hide underneath a Jeep and split a gas line. Just,
that part was crazy. Where the guy was just sitting there and then he gets chomped. It was just like, yes, this is the Jurassic Park I wanted.
Yes.
And yeah, it was cool. But then this,
I don't see how people could get mad at that.
Yeah, it was.
That did it for me. I was like, all right.
And I think they used. I don't know this for sure. Do not quote me on this.
I kind of want to watch it
now. I think they used a fair amount of practical effects. Definitely not as heavily as the first movie did, which is very impressive, by the way. The first movie still holds up, even though it was made in 1995. No, 99. 95, I can't remember. 90s, which makes it even more impressive that it's holding up so well later on. But, yeah.
I rewatched it when they put it on Netflix, and I was like, I don't remember it being this short.
Oh, yeah. How it's like...
It just felt like it zoomed by.
Yeah.
But I think when I was a kid, I kind of just compacted 1 and 2 together into one movie.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing that I knew for sure was from 1 was the little spitty guy shooting acid at that dude's face.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2 being the very, very end when the T-Rex is running around in the city.
Yeah.
And that's only because I remember thinking the movie was over.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd had a whole another plot where he was on Los Angeles just running around. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how that volcano is active enough that it suddenly explodes and destroys everything. And what I was thinking when I saw the trailer was, wait a minute. So they built an entire park on that volcanic island, and they didn't maybe think, this might explode soon. It was like, did you guys, like, what if the park hadn't failed? Are you telling me everything would have just been destroyed anyway? And
Yeah,
like,
they
how
would,
would you
like,
have gone on? Like,
Lol. Buy money.
and then, yeah, I could go on and on, but we could pick something else to talk about. What other movies are there?
I was going to tell you about another thing that I saw.
Okay.
Where,
Apparently, there's a debate on like who would win, a Jedi versus an alien,
Like,
xenomorph alien
oh, Jedi.
versus like a Jedi.
Yeah, hands down, a Jedi.
Yeah, and that's still kind of what they picked, but it wasn't for like the reasoning. So like most people were saying like, oh, Jedi, because you could just cut it.
Of course.
And then the acid blood would be like automatically cauterized, and it wouldn't bleed all over them and kill them and whatnot, and they just use the force and just.
Maybe if you cut off its head, then it doesn't matter if it's cauterized. Or
Yeah, the acid blood everywhere.
oh, you mean like it would protect the Jedi? Okay.
Yeah, but then Nerdist News kind of went over it, and they were like, well, if we're going off it's actually acid and whatnot, they said at such an intense heat so fast. I'm not going to go through the science of it. If you want to watch it, just go look it up. They said essentially if you were to go through it with a lightsaber, the alien would explode and the Jedi would probably die immediately from getting all the acid blood all over them.
So basically force it
like-
away.
Yeah, they said the only way they'd be able to win is with the Force, because even if it was like a Sith and shot lightning at him, it would once again make him explode.
Yeah, so just like use the force and crush it, and then
Yeah,
it's fine.
just kind of like, which that's my biggest problem with Star Wars movies is like just use the Force always.
Right?
That's
It's like just
it.
boop, there it is. You're done.
Like, have you seen Heroes?
Heroes.
Just Heroes.
No.
TV show.
Mm-mm.
Well, there's a character on there. The villain is the only person I've ever seen use telekinesis properly, like a normal person would if he really wanted to get things accomplished. Second someone would walk up, people like, nope, up against a wall, completely pinned. And like his power wasn't telekinesis, it was seeing how things work.
Mm.
And so that's how he was able to steal other people's powers. He'd kill them.
Is this a Marvel thing?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I think it was loosely based off Marvel Comics. I think I saw once, but I'd have to look it up, so don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But anyway, so this guy saw how things worked. It was like clockwork in his head.
Right.
And so he would kill people with powers. He'd look inside their mind, and he'd know how it works, and then he'd be able to use their power kind of thing, which is super cool.
That is super cool.
But one of the first people he killed was a guy with telekinesis who went into his shop because he was trying to like find other people that were like him. So he walked in and he heard this ticking in his head, and he was like, "Oh no!" And like that's kind of what drove him mad, was the ticking, was the constant need to want to know how things work.
Mm-hmm.
So he killed the guy, and then he got his telekinesis, and then from there on out, he would just pin people against the wall and just cut their head open with the telekinesis.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was cool.
Is it a TV show?
Yeah. Just watched season 1 and 2.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Is it low budget?
No, it was pretty good.
What?
That was where the whole Save the Cheerleader, Save the World came from.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah!
I need to watch Heroes
With
now.
Hayden Panettiere.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
General Talbot's on there.
Oh, okay.
I
I know that one. I know
yeah.
that reference.
I got that. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I took a picture of the thing, finally.
Which thing?
You'll understand when you see it. Because you'll remember, like, oh yeah, he was supposed to take a picture of the thing. I got to click on it. Give me a sec. Oh, fuck, where's that? Right here. It's like, do you see it yet?
Oh, Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I was like, oh god, that's someone's last name, entire last name.
That's awesome.
Descendant. Confirmed.
You think if those characters got married, they would just change their name to Fitzsimmons since everybody calls them that anyway?
Oh, I thought you meant in the TV show. I was like,
I
"Yeah,
did.
Spoilers.
I did mean in the TV show.
Well, they did get married.
Well, you're the one who spoiled it.
You're right.
I am.
I forgot what I was talking about before then.
Oh, have you seen Legion?
No, I still need to watch that.
I watched the first episode and I was like, this is cool, and then I haven't seen it since. Like, I watched the first episode and that was like 3 or 4 months ago, and I haven't touched it again. And then I also finished this is gonna be another TV show podcast. I finished The Strain. Have you seen that one?
I've seen the Andromeda Strain, which was really cool.
That's not the same thing at all. The strain the strain is about like vampires, but they're weird vampires that have like long like tongues that's how they suck blood out, and they're all like a hive mind based on, and like they go off the master. It's based on a book series, but basically they're the ones that caused like the Holocaust and stuff. They were just like harvesting people to eat. And so, like 80 some odd years later,
What's that on?
It's a FX show, but you can find the whole series online. I did. Okay. I was a little disappointed in the ending. I won't spoil it, but it was just like, oh, okay. But because I think they rushed it because I think they ran out of money.
2 things. I can't remember the other show, so I'll bring up this one then. Manifest came on last night, finally.
Manifest?
Yeah.
Okay.
You seen the preview for that?
Nope.
It's a TV show about a plane. This is all in the preview, so I'm not spoiling anything. It's about a plane that takes off, and then it hits some turbulence, and when they land, they realize they landed 5 years into the future.
Oh,
But,
I
like,
think I've
no
seen.
time passed.
I think I may have seen something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of based off of the. I know Twilight. The Twilight Zone did something like that. There was an episode where they like were flying, and they were like, "Oh, this feels like we've gone really fast suddenly," and they look out the window and there's like dinosaurs, and they're like, what the fuck? And then they do it again, and it's like 20 years before they like the year that they started on, and it's like before radios were invented or something. I don't know, but it was just like, how will we get back? And they're like, we're just gonna fly until we run out of fuel, and then we'll just land wherever we are. And it's like, oh, that sucks.
Sounds like not a good idea. Maybe new captain. Kind of want to watch just that episode now.
Yeah.
No, this one had a little more to it, but I'm not going to get into it because it was like kind of part of the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty cool. I liked it.
Did you hear about all the stuff with Telltale Games? Do you know what Telltale Games is? Well, so in the past 2 days, Telltale Games, who have made a Walking Dead game. Have you seen the Walking Dead game where it's like following a little girl?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, it's fine if you've heard about it. So they made that game, and they made like 2 seasons of it. And they made The Wolf Among Us. They made a Game of Thrones game. And it's all... Their shtick was like... It's all story-based. And it kind of tricks you into thinking that your decisions mean something, but really they kind of don't. But recently, amongst all the supposed success, they went out of business. They like shut their doors, fired like 225 people, and it was just a huge mess. And apparently there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than anybody knew. Like a couple people filed lawsuits for like poor business practices and like hostile work environments, but it was like a huge shock because it's like, damn, you guys had good games. Like, what the hell happened? And they were just like, they didn't tell any. They had like a week before they had already relocated new employees, and it was just like, you knew that this was coming. Why didn't you warn anybody? And so, yeah, it's just a huge shit show, and it's kind of a bummer because like they looked like they were going strong. But it was cool because I mean, it wasn't cool, but after the whole thing happened, like a bunch of companies reached out and they're like, hey, 225 people who don't have jobs now, you can come over here. And it was like, oh, that's really nice of you guys to like open your doors to those people. But so
this whole time I've been trying to figure out what the other TV show I was thinking about. Like I was listening.
So the first one was Manifest.
Yeah, but I can't remember the second. That's why I started with Manifest, but there was one I had before that.
So sorry I made you forget.
It's fine. It's not your fault.
I've been watching Hunter x Hunter. Have you seen that one? That's a cool anime. It's an anime, so you should check it out. Zach introduced me to it, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be dumb.
Oh, it's gonna be.
I was like, it's probably, I don't know. And then I tried it and I looked at it and I was like, oh shit. And I'm still, I'm like 60. No, I'm like 75 episodes in now. It's
I tried to
super
start
good.
Naruto.
I don't know if I will ever start Naruto because I saw it on TV and I was like, this is dumb. And so I just never watched it. Same with like, and I know a lot of people will give me shit for this, but I've never seen Dragon Ball Z either.
Me neither.
Really?
Well, from what I remember from Dragon Ball Z is always just like 3 episodes of build up, an episode of fighting, then like a couple fillers,
It's
and then 3 episodes of just
long.
the shaking, eye gazes, sweat. You're just like,
yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
just like, I can't keep doing this. To
Everybody in
myself.
our generation loves that show.
Yeah, I don't.
They freaking love it. I think Sam even loves it.
I think Sam's seen it. I don't
Or-
know about love or
No, I
hate.
don't think so.
I
But
don't know.
I just all over the internet. I'm just like, oh, 90s kids will remember Dragon Ball Z, and I'm just like, I never watched that
The
show.
fuck?
We will.
It's not good. I stuck to Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, those are good shows. Until they started like driving motorcycles.
Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah,
I think that's
it
about
got
where I stopped.
really fucking dumb.
You're just like, oh, okay. So you're not you anymore.
It's like, why do we need to drive motorcycles? But
Look at this meme.
oh my god. Ow!
I'm sorry.
Fucking
I just had to
knee. Ow! All right.
It's one of the button things where you have like an ultimatum.
I like
And
it.
it's like, kill everyone.
But you get a free hat, and then
And it's Gamora. She's like, "What does it cost?" And it's Thanos wearing a chicken, like a crocheted chicken hat. And it's like everything. Oh, that's funny.
but you get a cool new hat.
It's a good thing we are a small channel still,
Why?
so we can talk about memes and not bore people to death.
It still baffles me that not just that you have a wife. That's fine.
What the
No,
fuck? Where's this coming?
That's completely fine. Like,
Okay.
I can wrap my head around that. But anytime I see Megan Wilmeth, it just blows my mind.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
I
weird.
just like every time is like the first time. I'm just like, who the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like weird name changes recently, and don't like drop any names, but like.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, Megan, I've dropped her name 1,000 times. I'm talking like any of the new ones, like from our class. Our class, for some reason, this year is like, let's get married, everybody, and then they are. And it's like, oh, cool. No, don't hold it. It's bad for the audio. There you go. Do that.
Is that better?
I hope
Better?
so. Guess we'll find out when I edit it. But
Okay.
not that I'm going to. I'm just going to go home and upload it. I've been doing that because I'm just like, it's fucking 7 people. It's
It
fine.
is exactly what it is.
Yeah. How's the thing on the table? Is that still holding up?
I don't know. I think so.
Look
it hasn't
at
fallen.
it. Is it still connected to the table?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's fine.
You just look straight at it. I don't know. Anyway,
It is there,
Now that we're done
yes.
with that conversation.
I was done way before I said that.
Was this painting on the wall that I'm looking at? Was that here when you got here?
No.
No, that's yours.
No. Yes, because I bought it.
Well, I figured you bought it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I figured either you bought it or it was already here. How about the shelves? Are those yours too?
Everything in here is mine except for the appliances.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Neat.
Neat. Cool. Wow.
You told me you were gonna move, right?
Yeah.
You just don't know where.
It's Salina,
Well, yeah.
most likely. I don't know. So originally I was trying to think about next semester, but the more I'm looking at my lease, and I haven't like full on looked because like who has the time, but just off quick glances, I don't see anywhere about a subleaser and like if it's okay or not. Because I know it's not like a guarantee. Not everywhere
Right.
allows you to. And so that if I can't find it, then that kind of kills my idea of finding a subleaser and leaving next semester and moving in with people from my major. Sorry if I sound a little weird. I didn't even think about that, but I have a cold, so my nose
You're a
is
little
all
quiet,
stuffy.
but it's okay. Earlier in the podcast, I was watching the audio waves, and like it was really low, and it's because you have a very low voice and you don't project as well as I do. But
I feel like that was a bunch
That
of
wasn't
digs at
supposed
me.
to be an attack. It's just a fact.
It's just your shitty truth. You have a shit voice and you have a shit projector.
I only have you as a partner for this because nobody else will do it. No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
You're my friend.
That part I believe. Oh fuck, what was I talking about?
Moving.
Oh yeah. So now it's looking like the original plan, which is wait till May when my lease is up, which is still fine, I guess, but
Yeah,
it
sure.
sucks.
I mean, I guess you might be drained of money by that time, but
Yeah, that's so awesome. Can't wait.
ain't it great?
Yeah.
I took the weekend off for my birthday, and I kind of regret it because I missed 3 days that I could have been making money, and I got my check today, and it was like $279, and that came right after I paid my half of the rent. So my bank account was just like $279, and I was like, cool, that's
Cool.
great. And then the end of the month is coming up real fast, and I won't get paid until a week after the end of the month. So like, I'm gonna be like, Megan, I owe you in a week when I get paid, so hopefully it doesn't break my legs by then.
Reminds me, I gotta pay my phone bill and my internet, but like I'm so reluctant to pay internet because I'm just like, ugh. It's barely even real internet.
I mean, yeah, you could just use your like hotspot on your phone.
Yeah, but not for Netflix. On
Sure
my
you could.
TV. No, it's
Oh,
not
not
fast
your TV,
enough.
I
Yeah.
guess. Well, no, you could connect your. Wait, is Netflix an app on your TV right now? And you've tried it, and it doesn't work. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, if it was like even the Chromecast kind of thing, I wouldn't be able to just throw it up there because you have to be connected to the same Wi-Fi.
That sucks.
So, yeah, it does suck, like kind of a lot.
You should move to Chapel Ridge.
God, you keep saying that.
Yeah, you should. Live in Chapel Ridge for the 2 months that we'll be there before we move back to Manhattan.
Thanks, Kat. No, it's really not that bad. Really, I'm just kind of waiting to see if Bryce can get a job around here. It'd be really cool if he could get one for next semester.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I would have a roommate.
And then you won't be, broke.
But more importantly, I'll have a roommate.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
He could be like a regular guest on the podcast.
I miss people. Like every day.
Am I the one light in your life every week?
Let's not get carried away.
All right then.
It just sucks. Like, school is great because I get to interact with people in every class.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come home.
I'm glad you actually have people to interact with. I mean, I do too now, but like.
Yeah, thank God, right? Well, like our major is so small that it's essentially like going to school in Seneca. Like our class is about the same size as our class size.
Oh, so that's a lot of people. Oh, like overall, I see what you mean.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same with
Like our major for freshmen is probably around, I guess it's bigger than what our class was. It's probably around like 70-ish people.
That's a lot more, but yeah.
So, but yeah, but that makes a decent handful to where like I have just around 10-ish people that I talk to, only about 4 regularly.
The game design department, they probably have less than 30 people like going out, and I know some people who were in it dropped out, which is fine because they were kind of bad at it. But no, like I sound like an asshole whenever I bring that up, but like, so when I started school at Bethany, there were a lot of freshmen, and I'm already a senior at that point because I transferred from K-State.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of the people who are in the major, I'm pretty sure we're just like, oh, video games. I play video games. I could be a game design major. And they go in and there's no art chops at all. It's like none of them have ever picked up a sketchbook and none of them know how to use any of the software. Meanwhile, I've been using Photoshop for like 2 years already, and I like am artistic and can understand how to make shit. And it just, there were so many, like nobody would turn in assignments. Everybody's all lazy. And I'm just sitting here as a senior trying to get through school because I'm sick of it at this point. just watching people just slack off, and I'm just like, your lives are meaningless. Why don't you just do your work and turn it in? What are you doing? And yeah, a lot of them drop out, which is fine because I hate watching that happen. But yeah, no, you should have been here when I first showed up to that school. I was ranting every day about that. I was just like, I can't stand these people.
I still kind of remember it during summertime when we talk.
Yeah.
So,
I probably did bitch about it a couple times,
yeah.
but I did find like a few people that I can actually hang out with, and I'm actually working with 2 of the people on a really small game that we're making for practice. But
sweet.
Yeah.
You gonna make the next Flappy Bird?
We have talked about it. That was a money. Oh my god. I wish I could have made that game. You know how much he made a day? How much I heard that he made a day?
It was like a couple million, wasn't it?
No, not a couple million, but he made $50K a day,
Oh.
which is amazing. $50K.
Yeah,
I've
for the
never
little
had that
amount
much
of
in my
work.
bank account, and he got sick of it and just shut down the whole business. It took off Flappy Bird from the App Store, and I was like, you were making bank. What are you doing? And I think he had some sort of belief, or he was from some country where when shit like that happens, it's kind of bad because it changes your whole life, and it's just like, oh, money is affecting my life, and I'm just like, I wish money would affect my life in a positive way for once.
Where it's positive numbers, not even positive effects.
But I could totally make another Flappy Bird. It's easy. I could look up online how to make a Flappy Bird, and I could make one.
I didn't mean like a Flappy Bird app, but I mean Flappy Bird-esque. Like a really simple, stupid game.
Yeah.
Like Flappy Bird, or
The top-
like Candy Crush,
Oh
or
my God.
fucking anything like Maze Runner.
Right now, the top
Or Temple Run.
Temple Run. Temple Run's a cool game. I like that game.
I do like Temple
But
Run.
I
They at least
did.
tried.
What?
I said they at least tried.
Yeah,
With their graphics. and shit.
I did hear though actually that Endless Runners are the easiest kind of game to make, but still I enjoyed Temple Run. What was I gonna say? The top free game on the Google App Store right now is called Water Glass or something. It is literally you draw a line so that water goes into a glass.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Has 10 million goddamn views, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to get off my ass and make a stupid game like this so that I can get some views, because that is crazy.
Yep.
And it's half the time it's ads, and it's just
Yeah, just ad revenue.
yeah, 10 million people playing it, even for just 5 minutes. That's 10 million ads. That's so much money, and it's just.
So my favorite games are all from the same company.
Is it Voodoo?
Yeah.
They are freaking poachers.
They are quick.
I don't actually. You know what? I'm gonna retract that statement just in case they want to sue me for libel. But but
It's okay. I counteracted with saying they're my favorite.
but so I think there's a video I watched where someone made a really cool looking game. I can't remember what it was. It was something with a temple and it was a really cool looking game, and it had a neat art style, but they weren't a huge company. Meanwhile, Voodoo came by and they're like, oh, that's a cool idea, and they basically made the same thing but reskinned it and got millions of hits on it, and it was just come on, guys. But Voodoo is one of the top ones. Just
I feel like they put out a game every week.
yeah, they pump it out. They're a huge fucking company for it, which it's fine. I wish I could be that, honestly.
So, one of my favorite games by them was one that I played all deployment because you could play it offline.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fun fact, if they have ads just in between levels, just go on to airplane mode. And it just gets rid of the ads because it can't.
That is
them.
perfect. Okay, continue.
Yeah, that's what I did because I was over in Syria, so I didn't have any Wi-Fi anyway, any connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one, I think it was called Paper IO.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
I always picked the duck. And I circled around, and you're basically trying to cover up the whole map.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do it, you got to make a square and
Right.
go back into your base.
It's
and then it'll
it's
fill it up as
Snake
more your base.
IO or
No, different.
not Snake IO. It's the same
It
company, isn't
reminded me
it?
of Yu-Gi-Oh, the dice game, where you roll a dice and you push the dice in and it unfolds and covers the map.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
Ah,
Have you played
it was on the show.
Have you played Holio? It's like
Yes,
Hole.io.
that was gonna be my other one that I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, I played that one for a little bit, and I was like, this is kind of stupid.
Then it got too like repetitive, and it was just like depending on where you start at, that's how you win.
It's a little buggy. Like, it's just hard to control sometimes, but I don't know. There's one game I really like the concept of it is so cool, called Totem. It's like capital T, lowercase O-T, and then M. I think it's like Temple of the Mask or something, but it looks like Totem. But so you're in a temple, and you're like connected to the floor, and the way to get through the temple is you have to swipe, and when you swipe, you shoot to the nearest wall. So like if I swipe up,
Tomb of the Mask.
yeah, Tomb of the Mask, that's the one. It's super fun. The only problem is that there are a ton of ads. But now that I know about the airplane mode thing, I'm gonna turn on airplane mode, and then I won't get
as
any
long
ads.
as the game doesn't require data. So like I can't do it with Marvel Contest Champions, but they don't have ads, so it's fine because you have to be online to use it.
Right.
Then you can just turn it off, and then boom.
Like
free.
this one. Okay, so one thing they do with ads, a strategy that some companies use, is that they will incentivize the ads. So like you can watch this video and you'll get free shit.
And I'm fine with that.
I am fine with that. If it's like once every 10 or 15 minutes, but if it's every other turn, it's just like, I don't stop it. I don't want to do this. And it's annoying. And there's actually one ad on Totem that was really clever. It was an ad for a tower defense game, and you can actually play the tower defense game as the ad. Even after like the 30-second mark runs out, you can keep playing the game, and it's just like, oh, this is a very clever way to do it, but I don't want to play this game. I want to play Totem.
All right, I'm going to try playing Totem real quick.
Okay. Our first Let's Play video. It's too bad we're not recording it.
Oh, this is easy, Kent.
It gets a little harder,
Hot.
but like easy. And we're back to the butt stuff. Anyway, full circle.
Next stage. Oh, it says open.
Yeah,
Click.
it's like super easy at first, but then you get to points where there's like obstacles, and it's kind of challenging. And there are also like spikes that you don't notice at first because you haven't been to it, you haven't like seen them yet, so you don't know what they look like visually, and so you'll like be on top of it, and then it'll spike you, and it's like, oh shit, and so you got to go back and try it again.
Fun.
Yeah, but
Yeet.
now we're just gonna sit here and watch Sal play Totem. Is this fun for everyone? Does everyone like this?
This is easy.
Yeah, you're on like level 2.
I'm on level 3 now.
Oh,
Watch your
okay.
mouth. I don't know why they made me put on a shield, though.
Have you hit an ad so far?
Not yet, no. It's just them still doing the tutorial, like, you have to spend this money. Lol, 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 lol. Good luck if you knew you needed it later.
What else is there to talk about? I think it's been an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so...
Ah! Oh, you're right, I just hit a spike.
See?
I didn't know it was a spike.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's difficult.
Ads! Okay, I see your point. I'm closing out.
Yeah. But
Well,
fun game, though, right?
it was alright.
It was just supplemented by like a 30 ads that I don't want to see, and it's just like, I'm done with this. I don't want to play it anymore. Which is kind of a catch-22 because those kind of games need ads to function, unless you're like Bethesda, who's already huge, and they make Fallout Shelter, which is a super fun game. I love that game.
I still like Pokemon Go.
I have not played Pokemon Go probably for a year.
They just did the best marketing they've done in a while. They made it seem like they accidentally leaked stuff through data mines. And then they made it seem like it was a glitch where there was a special Pokemon coming out. And everyone was just like, is that a new Pokemon? Is it a placeholder?
Mm-hmm.
And it was showing up all around the world. And anytime you caught it, it wound up just being a Ditto. Like it would transform back into a Ditto.
Oh, nice.
And everyone was like, what the fuck is going on? What kind of bug is this? And then today, they released a Pokemon trailer saying, with like the professor from Pokemon Go talking to Professor Oak. And he's just like, people all over the world have been reporting sightings of the mysterious Pokemon. And Professor Oak's like, what is it? And then he was like, it's a Ditto. And he's like, oh, that's not very mysterious. He was like, no, the Ditto's not mysterious.
Why waste my fucking time?
Yeah. He's just like, shut the fuck up, Oak.
I am trying to research.
And he's like, it's not the Ditto that's special. It's what the Ditto transformed into. And then it shows a picture of him. And they're like, oh my god, a new Pokemon.
What's
And
the Pokemon?
Its name is Meltane.
I don't know that Pokemon.
Meltan. That's what it is.
I don't know any of the Pokemon. I
well,
know.
That's because he just came out today, Kent.
Wait, are you talking new, like totally new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said.
I thought you
Pokemon.
meant. Well, I thought you meant like it was part of the like next generation that they're coming out with, like the next generation in Pokemon Go. Because aren't they only like up to 3 generations?
Yeah, I guess that's understandable. I see what you mean now. No, this is like brand new, but it's supposed to tie in with the new Pokemon games. And
Okay.
the very first trailer for the Pokemon game said, meet a new Pokemon, brand new, only through Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee integration. And everyone's like, well, what is it? And then they're finally starting to integrate it. All we know is its name and its typing.
I miss the days of Pokemon Go.
It's cute.
I don't miss the glitches, but I do miss like the atmosphere of Pokemon.
There he is.
Oh, that's like really simple.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And he's like a computerized Pokemon?
No, so they kind of briefly talked about I'm going to name mine Quicksilver.
Okay.
And that's because they said his body is made out of liquid metal.
Okay.
That he uses to absorb other metals and erode them and add them as part of his body. He's also able to store electricity in the metal. And then there's something about the nut on his head, and I can't remember what it was.
That is like, I gotta be honest, that's like a really, really simple design for a Pokemon.
It's so cute because it's so ugly. I mainly like the little eye thing in the middle. It looks like a little black
Isn't there
hole.
a trash Pokemon?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Which is way better considering the first generation had a Pokeball Pokemon. Literally a Pokeball with eyes.
Oh,
Everyone-
Voltorb?
Yeah. Everyone gave him shit. And then Electrode is just the same thing, except his eyes turned into anime eyes, and then he got eyebrows.
I mean, they explode.
Fuck off. Or there's Magnemite, and then 3 Magnemites.
Or
Diglett and 3 Diglets.
3 Diglets, yeah.
And then there's Grimer and Muck. Both of them are just piles of pink sludge.
Coughing and wheezing.
Coughing, wheezing, cancer.
Coughing.
God, that fucking meme.
Which one?
We have privatized healthcare.
Oh my god, I loved that. Oh, with
fucking coughing.
with the coughing just rolling around on the ground,
I
just
like
being
how
all happy.
Coffee's always smiling like a fucking derp. Just like, coughing.
Somebody threw me and now I'm just spinning. Oh.
God, I would kill for the next Pokemon game to be about that.
Oh my god, it's like a post-apocalyptic because they privatized Pokemon care.
Like all of it. Like the government took over. And so it's like trainers versus gym leaders in the Pokemon League.
And they're like cloning Officer Jennies and Nurse Joys.
Dude, that's like all you're fighting against.
Yeah.
You're like literally in like you start off in like a rebel headquarter.
How many I always loved that in the
What
original
about that?
Pokemon shows where
There's
everywhere they went there's a Nurse Joy
For, like,
and an
4
Officer Jenny,
billion.
and they're just like, yeah, we just have 30 other siblings that look exactly like us. I always thought that was so funny.
The genetics are strong in our family.
Very strong.
And we're stupid enough to name all of us Joy and Jenny.
It looks like... Oh, hang on. It looks like this thing is stopping for some reason.
It's probably like, yo, it's been 2 hours.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're gonna cut it off. Over an hour.
Bye, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Join us next week for episode 7.
See ya.
See you later.
Yeah!